In this video, we will be covering how to add records to the B+B EAP system. We will cover adding records to the client table, the contacts table, and the referrals table. Click on the Add Client button to add a blank client record. In the Add Client window, you will see a default client ID number. This number is simply a counter that B+B EAP uses to get the next consecutive ID number. You can accept this number or enter your own. There are two other options in this window. You can click on an option to use the last two digits of the year as the first two digits of the client ID, or you can also click on an option that will duplicate the demographic data from the currently selected record into the new record. Use this option when you want to duplicate the name, address, phone numbers, etc. into the new record to avoid retyping this data. Clicking OK will simply add a new blank record that you can start editing. There's another option, a more powerful option for adding records. This option would be useful to you if you have an employee file available for the pool of clients you may see. For example, if you are providing counseling services for a particular company, you may be able to get your corporation to supply you with an employee file that contains demographic information such as names and phone numbers. We'll click on Add from Employee File. If this employee file is available, B+B automatically imports the data. Here are some sample records that have been imported. You can search for the client by last name or a variety of other factors. Once you find the client, one click will transfer all of the demographic data into the client record automatically, saving lots of typing time. The employee ID number becomes the client ID number. In this case, we'll pick Darian. And you can see all the demographic information from Darian's employee file has been included in the case file. To add contact records, click the Add Contact button. A new record will be added to the grid on the left. The system will expect the number of minutes. Now you'll notice the warning comes up about an invalid description because I skipped over putting a description in. These descriptions are user modifiable. I'll enter a number of minutes, and you'll see the date and the staff ID and the ID number was all duplicated. Now the descriptions can be modified by going into the Contacts Detail screen. You'll see a narrow maintenance button to the right of the list of descriptions. Note that some of these descriptions are prefaced with PER or PHO to indicate in-person activities versus over-the-phone activities. Although you can add your own descriptions, we recommend that you keep the PER and PHO descriptions because the system can summarize in-person and over-the-phone time. To add records for referrals, click the Add Referrals button. A new referrals record appears on the grid on the left side of the screen. Or you can use a technique similar to adding clients from an employee file. A table of outside resources is provided with your system. By clicking the Add from Resource File button, you'll see the available resources. You can add your own records of favorite providers, but once you find a preferred resource, one click will add that resource data to your client's case record without further typing. You can additionally add a follow-up date, the cumulative billable minutes, and an hourly fee that that resource had. We'll pick Jane Adams here and copy it to Darian's case. And you'll see a new record on the left-hand side for Jane Adams. Now let's talk about tracking services. Go to the Referrals Detail button, and you'll see at the bottom of the screen is a section where you can add specific services provided to your client. Again, these descriptions are completely user modifiable. You can click on the arrow button on the right side to manage the different services you could provide by adding, deleting, or editing these descriptions. Let's select a few here. And that concludes the adding record summary of B+B EAP.